for today for his speech.
I'll give you Scott's objectives for his speech. Scott is going to harmonize and give us this icebreaker speech. For our guests and new members, the icebreaker speech is the very first speech that you give as a part of the Toastmasters Pathways program. And just a reminder, when we do give an icebreaker speech in person, at the very end of that speech, we give that speaker a standing ovation. So whether you're online, but definitely in person, let's make sure we give Scott that standing ovation at the end of the speech. Back to you, Julie.
Thank you, Greg. Scott is giving a 4 to 6 minute icebreaker today. I'm so excited because we actually have 2 icebreakers, Dan and Scott. We usually hear a lot of personal details, more about people when they share their first speech, their icebreaker, although for both of these people, this is not their very first speech at Toastmasters, but their first speech in their path. Scott is actually 30 days away from being 60 years old. Congratulations. This is his icebreaker of what he has been up to this point in life. Please welcome Scott.
Hello. Let's have some harmony. Thank you. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters. For many people, it's a very natural, easy thing to say, my name is. My name is. I complicated that when I was a young man. My birth name is Pigott, P-I-G-G-O-T. It has a relation to a farm animal, which I have now. I have 2 brothers, and we grew up in the only brick house on the street. So I tell people I have a storybook child. And so as a way of introducing myself, I've had the interest in just having that unique it's been a challenge. It's been interesting. It's been fun. When I was 18 years old, after growing up with kids with all the nicknames that you just anything to do with pig or pork, and I happened to be a chubby guy my whole life, which really didn't help. So dealing with that has been interesting. So when I was about 19, I changed it myself, putting a grouping of syllables together, prefixes and suffixes, and actually just created the name Airmont. Took the name Airmont and lived with that here, and then I moved to Phoenix. Completely new environment. Getting some disharmony. I don't know if that counts as a word. But so I went to Phoenix, and with the new name Airmont, it was quite interesting. The initial, that first impression that you get when you're shaking someone's hand. When I was a kid growing up, that people would say, "What'd you say?" I said, "Pigott." Pigott? Things like, people would say things like, "Why don't you pronounce it Pichot?" Thanks for the suggestion, but it's Pigott. And my grandfather came from Scotland, and I just tell people that he was a pig farmer and he had pigs, so that's how we got the name. But Airmont is a completely different sounding name. It sounds, it rang to me a different way when I created that name. So the initial introduction with people, of breaking that ice with people all the way in life, as we do every time we greet a new person, was really starkly different. And it's hard to communicate because most, like I said, opening, most of us say, "Hi, my name is Bruce Bush." And it's just that easy. And I'm sure everybody's had their name made fun of. I have no sympathy for that kid named Pigott. But it's been interesting going through life. Now, my legal name is Airmont, and a real estate agent, and with the name, my legal name is Scott Airmont. But when I grew up, or in the process of growing up, all my family's here. My mom, Sandy Pigott, Jeff Pigott, Dan Pigott, and really all 3 well-respected, well-liked in the community. So I hyphenate my name, even though it's not really a hyphenated name. It's complicated. As an icebreaker, this is kind of thin ice, really. So I'm really trying to break through. It's a weird story. As a kid, with the boy named Sue complex, if you know what I'm talking about, my dad really was a school principal and a school teacher, and encouraged me to follow. I mean, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Dr. Wayne Dyer, Dennis Waitley, all the old greats. And I still have boxes of cassette tapes. And I don't know if everybody in here knows what cassette tapes. Looks like most everybody here has probably popped in a cassette tape once in a while. So having that name and being teased and bullied, honestly, I mean, I have a lot of friends. I run my Facebook page for my high school. There were a couple thousand kids in the high school. It was a big school in northern Michigan. And I made peace, but I was definitely a bullied child. So when I hear about kids getting bullied today, there's a mix of empathy there, having been named after a farm animal. Some of the good things that I get out of having that kind of a name is that it has forced me to not only always try to better myself, just to be able to stand up to it, because it's an internal challenge also. Having the name Piggott kind of made me somewhat, some would say a lot, a ham. Stand-up comedy is a really big goal of mine as we go along, and I'm taking the pathway of the humor. I've performed at the comedy club, at the Comedy Corner before, hosted some charity events, did some MC sets and so forth. So I'd like to, as we go along, improve my ability to be funny, organized, and write more and more comedy around more than just my name, even though there's a lot of comedy around my name. That is the current, that's how I got here. My wife is a beautiful piano teacher from Crimea. I have a stepson and a son, both fighting through life the best they can, and we're all trying to be a good family. But thank you so much for allowing me to rejoin this great group. And I'm looking forward to improving myself and offering my help to whatever else I can do as we go along. Thank you very much.
Woo-hoo.